Random Talks episode 5. And today I have with me Bodhi and Shrikant. And there's Shrikant in front and this is Bodhi right here.
Hi.
So today I wanted to talk to Bodhi about. So you end up spending like 8 years in an ashram, right?
Yes.
How did that happen, man? Tell us a little bit about that story.
That happened, I would say, from some childhood passions about, passions and questions about life and what I'm doing on this planet. And I was very inspired and got very curious visiting temples, Hindu temples. I used to love going through South India and visiting any temple I could, that inspired me a lot.
So at what age did you actually go to the ashram?
I went to the ashram when I was around. I met my Guruji when I was around 16.
Okay.
And managed to spend time with him, but I didn't live with him. I would go visit him for a few hours every day, that kind of scene. When I completely went and stayed in the ashram was when I was around 20 years old, 19, 20.
So you first met him when you were 16?
Yeah.
Okay. And how did that happen?
That happened randomly in town. I was just taking a walk around the lake, smoking a joint, and he happened to be there. And he was like, hey man, and then he was like, you want to smoke a chiller? I was like, yeah, sure. That's how it happened.
Oh, wow. And so you were born and brought up in Kodai, is it?
Yes. I was born in Kodai, grew up here, did my schooling here. Because I met my Guruji and other small factors, I dropped out of school in 10th grade, so couldn't finish my 10th grade. So met Guruji and learned Saivism Vedanta.
Saivism Vedanta?
Yeah, Saivism / Vedanta.
Okay. So what is Saivism?
Saivism is the path of Shiva, the Shiva Lingam.
Okay.
Yeah, it's union of the lingam and the yoni, of the yin and yang, you could call it.
Okay.
So Shaivism was less rituals. You could call it Advaitic. Advaitam is oneness,
Right.
where God is within you, God is in every atom, God is everywhere. He is not separate from you. So this is the Advaitic paths, which has evolved from Saivism.
So it's very interesting.
Vedanta is more the end of the Vedas, which doesn't really deal with rituals. It's like the Upanishads and more dealing with meditation practices and techniques rather than pujas and yagnas and things like that. Yeah.
Right. So how come you got this interest at such an early age?
We actually say in our parts that if you're doing sadhana, for example, and you happen to die, what happens in your next life is at a very young age you realize what you had known in your past lives and understand how things work, understand how the spiritual realms work. So I definitely feel I had done some work in my past life to, at a very young age, get back into the paths, and meet my gurus. So this really inspires as well. So,
Wow.
yeah.
So then once you started living with your Guruji and you were staying in your ashram, so you were part of an akhada, right?
Yes.
For people who don't really understand much of that, can you explain a little bit like what that is, how it works?
The akhadas are basically groups of sadhus learning techniques. They learn akhada is like a wrestling arena as well. So a lot of wrestling, martial arts, physical exercises and all are taught at younger ages. And as the Baba grows older, he starts learning spiritual techniques, mantras, according to his Ishta Devata. So for our Akhada, which is Avahan Akhada, Ishta Devata is Ganapati. So all the techniques will be towards Ganapati style. So Ganapati, you could say, is also more tantric than a yogi. So
What
a lot
does
of
that mean? Like more tantric than yogi?
Tantra, Yantra, and Mantra. It's like tantric techniques work with instead of going from, you could say, Mooladhara chakra upwards and slowly opening it up. In Ganapati techniques, we would work straight on space chakra and allow the energy to flow up rather than try to push or do anything. We just try to unknot.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is one difference between Ganapati and Skanda or Murga.
Whereas this is quite a different path, right? Like, actually, in some sense, it's not really different. I mean, this is what traditionally was happening in our country, right? And,
Yeah, for sure.
And well, of course, for many hundred years now, like going to school and kind of getting indoctrinated in a more Western system has been considered a norm, right?
Yes.
And yeah, so it's quite interesting that you kind of went in this path. And so I'm just asking from a point of view for like, because there are many people, no? Because for me as well, like, when I was growing up in the city and like,
Check out this view, bro.
yeah, I'm just turning it around for you guys.
That's the Kombai Valley.
Yeah.
Beautiful valleys. So you were saying?
Yeah, so there are a lot of people for whom, like even in India, unfortunately, that a lot of these concepts are, like not concepts, like even that all of these things exist and work in this way is kind of unknown to them. Right. So how can they kind of get to maybe, if they want to get connected or know more about some of these things? How do they go about doing that?
Unfortunately for us in our education system, all this has been wiped out in the last few hundred years. So things we are supposed to be taught in school, we are not taught in school. We barely know our own history. So that is one unfortunate thing. But for me personally, it was following my heart at a young age. This is what I really wanted to know. I could have gone and studied anything else I wanted to, but I wouldn't have been content inside knowing that this is not what I want to learn. So
I'll buy a few cigarettes.
yeah, it's close, bacha. So it's important to have the passion for it. You will learn. It will all unfold, and you will get the. These days there's so many books, so many different gurus trying to teach. Go through, read as much as you can, search. You have to put an effort in searching and learning. It's not something you can just go online, for example, and read about, because online I wouldn't say there's much stuff as well. So.
So, and how was life in Ashram, man? So you were there living in the ashram for 8 years. Huh? How was that?
Ashram life, let me just first clarify in Sanskrit the meaning of ashram. So, shramam is difficulty. An ashram is a place where everything functions smoothly. There is no difficulty. It is relaxed, calm, and that is the atmosphere of an ashram. And ashram is family life. When you get initiated, it's like your guru and all your guru buys. It's a family. That's your family. So it's just like a home where daily stuff happens. You wake up, wash the dishes, make sure breakfast is happening. There'll be visitors to the ashram. This is my experience because I was doing a lot of seva. Cleaning the ashram. The babas will be doing their morning baths, pujas, mantras. They'll start sitting. They wake up early, so 4 o'clock they're up. They finish their practices, everything. By 7 o'clock they sit, and once the nagas sit, they sit pretty much throughout the whole day. Through satsangas. Only for meal times maybe they might get up. So ashram life is only difference is learning is happening constantly. So as soon as morning we go sit with Guruji, satsangas happen. We go through books, we learn techniques, we try to do different things. So every day it looks like not much is happening, but it's full of action as a sadhak, because there's so much internal practices that are happening, transformation. Yeah, so
So satsang happens every day.
every day,
Okay.
every single day.
And So could you talk a bit more about satsang? Because like the word itself means like in the presence of truth or like
In the Sangam is a group discussing about the truth.
Okay.
Basically, the Sat Sangam, yeah.
Right. So then
My second Guruji is like a Jnani, so he wanted us to go through different books with him, ask questions, go through the intricacies of what that person is talking about and which perspective that person is talking about. So he really encouraged discussion and debate and to expand our understanding of things, you know.
right. So then the exploration of truth, of course, then you will also maybe look at all the things which are untrue in the world, which are probably being passed off as truths, right?
For sure, for
So
sure.
maybe would you like to just talk a little bit, like maybe a mini satsang right now, like very mini, like about what's maybe untrue in this world that maybe a lot of people perceive as being true?
I mean, first of all, we should realize we're in Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, the Asurs become very strong. So in this time, there's a lot of asat, you know, non-sat, non-truth. So it's just obvious in front of you. Look at our governments. Look at what's happening in the world around us. Look at the corporations. Like, you know, I mean, everywhere there's asat in today's world. So once you start doing some practice and able to identify sattva, then it's very easy to realize. But in today's world, you know, everywhere there's asat.
Right, because with a lot of people, like it's a very interesting phenomenon that I personally see. Like when you start seeing many things start becoming extremely obvious, that oh, this is like clearly untrue or asat. But for the people who are in it, it seems pretty hard for them to see it.
Yeah. So for that, rather than reading about it, I would suggest everybody to try, you know, little meditation and little trying to still their mind, trying to be calm, allow the mind to relax. Then you yourself will be able to actually understand what's happening on a deeper level, on the level of the universe, on the level of Gaia, the earth. So, yeah.
So you mentioned that we're currently living in the Kali Yuga, right?
Yes.
So why does this happen that we keep cycling between these yugas?
That is part of this, the dimension of earth, like where there are different circles, for example, and each circle is doing this loop constantly.
Right.
So like that, you could say 1 year is a circle, you know, 128 years a circle. Now, astrologically, every 2,200 years, the constellation does a circle, you know. So, like that, the constellation changes. Like that, we are living in so many different circles as such, you know. You could call them laws of the dimension, you know, how the dimension
So you
holds
say that
itself together.
this is the laws of this dimension.
Yes,
So like if
it's
you're not part of Earth's dimension, then
It
you
would
wouldn't
not
have the
exist.
same cycles.
Yes.
Okay. And yeah. So on the idea of dimensions, you have mentioned to me many times that like ancient Tamil siddhas have like mentioned many times that that this is actually one of the lowest dimensions.
Yeah, not just the Tamil Siddhas, even in the Vedas and in Hindu texts, no?
Okay.
It's
So could you
considered
tell
like
a
that.
little bit about that?
Just mainly because it's considered one of the lower dimensions because of its material nature, because of people going after sense gratification through material, which doesn't give um, continuous contentment or continuous satisfaction. It's not a, you know, you eat your food, again you'll be hungry, you get something. So material satisfaction is not the way to go. So in other dimensions, you don't need material satisfaction, and people are wise enough to see that and get satisfaction on the spiritual level rather than on the material level. So that is one of the main reasons this dimension is considered a lower dimension.
So, like now that we are in this dimension, is it like we messed up somewhere, like, or like did we like do some sin and then end up?
We didn't mess up. It's all part of the cycles of nature. In fact, we have an opportunity now to evolve to higher dimensions as a human being. That is one beautiful thing about being a human being on this planet is you have an opportunity to do sadhana, to evolve, and to move through the dimensions. So that itself is a great opportunity, I would say. So instead of looking at it like we did something wrong to be here, it's like, okay, we're lucky to be here, so we can actually advance.
All right. So, Shrikant, how long have you been here in Kodaiman?
It's been 2 years now.
2 years now.
A
And
little
how,
less than 2 years.
How did that happen? How did you end up coming?
A friend of mine suggested me about this place, Kodaikanal.
Okay. And then?
And then I decided to come here.
Oh, that's an interesting way to do things. No?
I
Because-
never wanted to be in a city.
Okay.
Yeah.
The reason I ask is because I know there are many other people also who would like to move to Kodaikanal, who come and visit this place, look at it. But then somehow they're not able to make that jump. You know? It's like they're somehow stuck in their own patterns and loops and stuff. But
Yes.
it seems like somehow you were able to do it. How did that happen?
I have no idea.
Okay. This is like Shrikant's standard response for everything. Life is happening, he has no idea. Okay. What are the things that you do have some ideas about?
Cooking, Zulra.
Even I really have no idea.
I'll have to do his talking for it. I'll ask his questions and I will answer the question as well. Right. And okay, cool. So you started a cafe, right?
Yes.
It's called Lazy Man's Art Cafe.
Yes.
How did that happen?
Again, I have no idea.
Okay, if we have to promote your cafe and we have to tell people around the world that this is the world's most amazing cafe, come fucking eat here. What can we do? Where can they find you? How do we get them to come to your cafe?
Yeah, they can come to a village called Pumbarai, a place called Club India, in a village called Pumbarai
Okay.
in Kodaikanal. It's like 20 kilometers from Kodaikanal.
Okay.
But for sure, Laziness Cafe is an amazing cafe.
Okay.
Do visit that cafe. I'm not promoting, but
It's okay. Promote,
It's-
bro,
it's
promote your
about-
cafe.
it's not about the food that I give, but it's about the people that you get to visit over there. Yeah, for sure. I put little of my energy in the food also.
Little only you put, you bastard. Put more, bro.
Yeah, that makes this cafe the most amazing cafe. It's more about the people than the food. Yeah,
Nice. You also make brownies and all.
yeah, kind of started making brownies.
So you, how long have you been interested in food now?
It's like maybe 6 months,
6 months.
a little less than 6 months, I would say.
See, that's another really interesting idea, I would say. It's like, I've seen many people who were interested in food for years and years, and they even think of starting a cafe for years and years. You've been interested in food only 6 months and you already have a cafe. How did that happen?
Maybe because I'm free in other aspects. Like I don't have to think about money. Like when I used to live in Hyderabad, I used to think about so many things. Now I kind of don't have to think about all these things now. That made my mind free, and that is making me to do what I want to do.
Could you see? That's I think a really interesting idea, no? Like on being free from the mind.
Yes.
Yeah. Could you maybe talk a bit more about that? Like, how did that happen? What do you mean by that?
This I have an idea, but I don't know how to put them in words. Basically,
I know, say something.
freedom. The first freedom I would say is maybe financial freedom only, which I kind of got it when I came to Kodai. In like 6 months, I'm like, this is it. I'm like kind of free financially, at least.
Okay.
Not like I'm like superpower rich and all, but whatever I have, I'm kind of very happy with things that I have. It's like, yeah, and everything is going on. I live in a pretty awesome house, awesome space, and I get to eat food all 3 times a day if I want to. And then what else?
Yeah, we have amazing dogs. and
Yeah, I
cats
have
also in
amazing
our
dogs.
place,
I
man.
have beautiful
Now we have
people
a
around
baby
me.
also.
Yeah, I have a baby now. Yeah.
The universe providing us with everything. Nice. Sweet. So, what is? You guys suggest something, man, since it's Random Talks, episode 5. You guys are free to share whatever you want to share with the world.
Yeah. We want to share a cigarette.
With the world, what do I want to share with the world? Ask some questions, Vishnu.
You can ask questions.
Well, one thing I could say is like personally for me, I would say Bodhi is like the most full power person that I've met. Yeah, wherever you are, like you're really 100% involved in what you are doing, and that's quite an amazing quality. So, did this like happen over time? Was it always the case? How did this come to be?
It actually happened over time. It took some practice because mainly I would give that to my Guruji because he taught us to keep the mind on point on the task that we're doing and to try to be 100% on that task. If not, you don't want to be doing a task and having your mind somewhere else. So this is something we really work on to try to at least be 100% in everything. And whether you're listening to somebody, listen to them completely. Whether you're whatever you're doing in life. So it's important if you're able to silence the mind and keep it on point, then it becomes much easier to do that. I feel, yeah.
So you practice this thanks to your Guruji, no?
Yes.
Because I would say for me this is one of the most amazing qualities that I've noticed in you. That you're like always full power. Whenever I meet you, you're just like on, right? And yeah, so if someone else had to like inculcate this quality, how could they kind of start doing this? How could they like work on it?
To be in here and now really helps a lot because then your mind is not wandering and you're able to give your complete energy. There's no like emotional disturbance. There's no any other kind of thought disturbances in your head. Then you can be full power with your energy. Yeah.
Okay. And how was your experience in school, man? So your early life, you were in Kodai International School, and
Yes.
then you moved to a school in Chennai,
Yes.
right? So how was that?
That was Kodaikanal International School was actually really good. I had a amazing childhood studying there. I mean, beautiful campuses, a lot of space to walk around, play sports, really good teachers, and good education system where it didn't depend completely on board exams. The music facilities were amazing. The students were from all over the world, and yeah, I just got a lot of exposure to different things, and it was one of the best times of my life. எங்க போறீங்க?
But that was a really dumb dude coming on on the opposite side of the road in a ghat section. Yeah. So sometimes we have that as well.
Chennai, I would say, was very opposite to that, where yeah, it was an international school, is what they said, and there was a lot of what to say, what you call it, corporal punishment to it, hitting,
Yeah.
Yeah, so we basically got beaten the crap out of by our teachers for various things, And it changed us. It changed our personalities. It did actually bring a lot of aggression out of us, and yeah, we became uh, gangsters in school only. Right? Fuck.
Yeah, okay.
That's what violence brought out of us. So
And
yeah,
how has that impacted your life? Would you say it's kind of had a negative impact, or
I would say
kind
there are
of
pros and cons,
okay?
and more pros. Like it made us personality stronger. Like whoever passed out of my batch, you see, all up we are able to handle any, what to say, thing that hits us in life, any problem, any difficulty. It's easier to handle because we've gone through the worst there, you know. So it's made us strong in many ways. Yeah.
Because actually, I've also noticed that about you. It's like, and you talked about your school and stuff, and in some ways, I can see how this seemingly very bad thing has actually added like richness and flavor to your personality. Yeah, man. Okay, so then did you? So you dropped out at some point?
Yeah.
Like, so you dropped out when? Like
In 10th grade.
in 10th grade itself.
Yeah.
How did you manage to make that decision?
Make that decision. Basically, actually, what happened was I flunked my Hindi in my board exams,
Awesome, bro.
and then I went to my mom's place in Kotagiri, and I was taking tuitions to re-attempt it,
Okay.
and I flunked it again. So
Yeah.
I was like, damn, if this system, I was good at all my other subjects. I was getting 70, 80% plus, some even 90. So I was like, if they don't accept me just because I'm not able to pass this one exam, uh, I don't want to be part of this education system. I can, start a business. I can find my own way in life. I don't want to depend on this education system for me to, survive in life. So I was like, screw this, and I dropped out.
Wow, man, that's actually really amazing because most people take a lot more time to figure out, and some people unfortunately never do. They do a PhD and, and then they become professors in universities and continue the cycle. But like you dropped out in your 10th grade, which is quite awesome actually. Full respect, bro. And but yeah, but then I would say you're financially also doing like quite amazing, right? So
That also I would grant it to my Guruji.
okay.
Yeah.
So you started like when it was the first business that you started?
The first business I started was actually I went to Colombo to work after I dropped out.
Okay.
So I went there. I was working in a hotel. I was handling the reception, and I was studying a fashion diploma. And it was a busy life. We were partying in the nights. I was going to gym every day. Hectic schedule. And then slowly I started doing the accounts in the hotel. I started managing the whole hotel, and yeah, so I did that for 2 years, and then I came back to India. I had saved up some money. I came to India and bought some land in Kotagiri, a patch of tea estate. And yeah,
How
that
old
was
were
my
you, man,
first.
when you
I
did
was
that?
I was 18, man.
Wow, that's so cool because most people have no fucking clue about anything by the time they're 18, and you'd already managed a hotel and came back and managed to buy a patch of land.
Yeah, and that land helped me a lot. I was able to resell it for higher and made some money to rotate and invest in things.
Because here's the thing, no, for like most people, they have this idea that you have to go through school and college in order to make money and survive, right? And but for you, you clearly broke that idea in your mind at a very early age.
It was influenced, not, it wasn't just my, it was just life situations. Like I was in school and my father had met with a really bad accident when I was 14, 15. And that's the reason I shifted to Chennai. And then when I came back to continue my education, I had to depend on my elder brother, and he was happy to support me. And I was living with my mom because my parents had actually divorced. So it was just me and my mom. And I was seeing my mom trying her best to support me, send me to school, and do all this. And I was like, man, I don't want to put them through this. I'll go make my own money and I'll support my mom. I wanted to take care of my mom at that point. So that was what was really driving me and inspiring me. I was like, screw this, let's go make some money, let's support mom, let's do some good scenes. That really was a major factor, yeah.
Wow, man, that's quite epic. So, okay, there's one thing that I've seen, like, with a lot of nice people that I've met, is like they seem to have like a really messed up financial blueprint, and they tend to struggle a lot with that. So, but like before I come to that question, maybe like your dad was also doing a business, and then he settled in India, right?
Yes.
Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, my father actually grew up in Sri Lanka. Met my mother there as well. Got married, and then in '83, my eldest brother was born in Sri Lanka, and in
Yeah.
'83, there were some major riots in Sri Lanka, and all the Tamils were being pretty much killed. So my father actually left. He took off to Oman with the family, and they lived there for a few years. And then my father shifted to Maldives with the family. He started a business there. He was there, and he found Kodaikanal International School. So he put my brothers in boarding school here, and he would come visit them. And it's obviously he found it was a really beautiful place here, and thought, okay, why not live with the family? And slowly started doing some investments here, buying some properties, getting a house and stuff like that. And soon after I was born, so my father found this place through the school and the education system.
And you mentioned to me once that even your mom had a really good business sense.
Yeah, my mom was a really good business.
Could you talk a bit about that?
She was a strong woman. I mean, since she had, even before my parents had split up, my mom was the one who was handling my dad's businesses on a ground level, and they were going really well. My dad would just be in office in Chennai and doing things from the periphery. The actual handling of everything my mom was doing. So she had good experience in it, and she was like smart, streetwise. She knew how to. She was good with people, so she knew how to handle people, keep them happy. All her workers were always like extremely happy and to work with her. And yeah, and then after the divorce as well, it was like she was on her own, so she had to be super smart to
Right.
survive only. Like so, yeah. I think
So would you say
Yeah.
that being in a family where your dad was doing business and your mom also had like a very good business sense kind of helped out quite a lot with you also starting out pretty early?
like I started off early and then I stopped because I joined the ashram. So then after that for years I didn't do anything. But when I started again, it was good. I think in the genes only. It's there, but like could tap into it through the genetic stuff also.
Right. So for people who find this like this idea of like setting up your own business quite a scary phenomenon, what would you say to them?
Can I say something for
Yeah,
this?
tell. For sure.
So when you asked me about the cafe,
Yeah.
so it's not that something which I started. It's an idea which developed over a period of time among a group of people basically.
Okay.
And it's not that I'm doing everything over there. It's Bodhi has provided the space. Vishnu has done got the things for the cafe and stuff, and I'm just cooking. So it's not one person's cafe. It's just an idea which grew over a period of time, and it is now in an execution phase. Yeah.
Right. But see, so I would say maybe like you also had, I think, the blessings of the universe and
Yes, for
being
sure.
in a space where a lot of these things are uh,
Yes.
quite conducive
Yes.
of sorts. No?
Yes.
But then there are many other people for whom, like Bodhi on the other hand, when he was much younger and then he went off to Colombo,
Uh-huh.
you went alone and then you started doing things by yourself.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a very different phenomena where you go to a different country and then you set up things and then you start doing them really well. Right. So that's quite a achievement, I would say, from my point of view. And definitely there are a lot of people who could learn a thing or two from that, right? So, because I see that for many other people who are maybe in a different situation or predicament, they would like to kind of start something, but there's this sense of fear that they have,
Mm.
right? And that fear tends to stop them where they're not sure that, okay, if I do this, will it go well? Will I mess up? And will I fail? And that fear tends to like really hold them down. So what would you say, like, to people, like, on, like, if they have like limited resources, if they're just by themselves, on the topic of like starting your own business?
I would say, before you do anything, do some research, do some study on it, and narrow it down. See what your options are. And then when you're really interested in something and you think you can do it, then go for it. There's no holding back, because fear and all is part of the head. But business itself there's risk involved. So if it's a good idea, you can put in the effort, go for it. I mean, you don't want to waste time in life with these things. At least I feel like, you don't want to be sitting when you're old and like, shit, I should have taken this move back then. So just go for it is what I would say.
Do you have any regrets? Like anything that you feel like, man, I should have done this back then? I didn't do it.
Honestly, right now I'm very satisfied in that aspect. I don't really have any
Wow, man,
regrets that way.
that's quite an amazing. Yeah, full power to that, bro. Like, happy for you. Yeah, nice. So, okay, cool. Maybe one last thing that I would want to ask you is, what is it that excites you in life? What do you look forward to these days?
These days, I look forward to just spending time with my animals at home. I just don't want to do anything in life now. I'm happiest at home, chilling with my cats and dogs, and that's just the most happy thing for me to do in life right now.
So, how many cats and how many dogs do you have?
I have 3 cats now and 3 small kittens. There's like 3 dogs also I'm taking care of, and my cows. Yeah,
Oh, nice. How many cows do you have?
18 cows.
18 cows.
Yeah.
How did you end up having cows?
That also was one childhood thing of mine where I was just like, there's so much space here. I used to hike around a lot, and I thought when I grow up, I would really want to have cows here. And also, I started visiting temples, and I saw what a intricate part cows are part of our system. So I want to even like make ghee from the cows thing, and light the lamps for the pujas with that ghee. That would be very satisfying for me.
Okay.
And to be able to share out the milk with everybody and to have a good relationship with the cows, and yeah, it's a win-win for everyone basically, the cows and us and everyone. Yeah.
And so your dad came like 40 years ago, bought this land, and then started a resort, right?
Yes.
So how did your family take to having cows over there?
My brother doesn't like it at all, but my dad's cool with it. It's
Okay.
peaceful, because he also had cows when I was a kid.
Okay.
Yeah, and he gave them all away because he couldn't take care of them at that point. But for a few years he had cows.
Okay.
So yeah.
Nice. And you got these cows when your mom was still around?
Yeah.
And how did she feel about that?
She was cool. She was like, but just make sure you take care of them really well and they're good. Like, she keep reminding me, like, don't like keep your attention on them and make sure they're healthy and they're good and well fed. That this is what my mom would tell me. Yeah.
Okay. Sweet. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, both of you, for joining me for this round of random talks. And
Thank you, Vishnu.
thank you, everyone. Bye bye. And I will see you guys in the next one.